Okay guys, today I would like to discuss with you the whole concept of intervals, and you will find it in your books on page 9, as I've said previously, on Google Classroom. And it starts by telling us right away there that intervals are the most basic structures in music. And it then gives us a better description, and it tells us how we will have to do this work. Now, they refer firstly to a melody. When we sing or hear a song and the person is playing different notes, one after the other, that distance between the one note to the next note, that is what an interval is, and we can describe it. Now, we easily think of these intervals of the distance between notes in a melody, in a song that we listen to, and they are called melodic intervals from the word melody. However, think about people harmonizing when they sing. In other words, two people are singing together, but they are not singing the same melody. Then they can still have two different notes that will happen simultaneously, and that distance between those two notes is known as a harmonic interval. So remember, we say that, oh, somebody is harmonizing with a melody, which means two different people singing or playing two different instruments and two different pitches at the same time. Harmony. So if I can refer you back to your books, they show us an example here of one note after the other, and that will be a melodic interval. Here they show us two notes on top of each other, written this way, to show us that it's being sung or played simultaneously. For example, it could be a soprano singing and an alto singing at the same time, and then we call it a harmonic interval. Now, what you need to know is you need to be able to say, well, it is the distance between two notes, but how do we describe that? And actually, it is really quite easy. If we just take an interval, and I'm just going to use an example here, and let's say I have middle C, and the next note that the person is singing is E. So we go from middle C to E. Let's say here it will be middle C to E. We can then simply count the letter names. What do I mean? You can literally write down for yourself. Well, it will be C, D, E. And when you count how many letter names you've just said, you count right from the start. C is 1, D is 2, and E is a third one. And just as I said, 1, 2, 3, this is the third letter. That means that this interval is a third. Now, because it's not happening at the same time, we will go 1, 2, 3, and this is then known as a melodic third. And it's very easy. You can actually just then write it as a melodic third in the abbreviated form, and it's sometimes not so easy to see everywhere in your books, but if you page through, you will see many examples. Okay, now let's just take that same interval, the same difference from one note to the next, but let's say we are listening to a band, and one instrument is playing that note, and one instrument is playing this note. So it will still be C, in this case middle C, and E being played, and you will still count C, D, E from 1, 2, 3. But because they are now being played at the same moment in time, we now call them, or we call this, a harmonic third. And again, you're allowed to abbreviate this to harmonic third. Now, this is how you will work with it for the entire C major scale that we learned in the previous lesson and that you've had to complete by now. So if you don't get your scales right, that's why they're so important, because they form the basis of working out your intervals. So if I can just go back to C major scale that you would have seen, then let's quickly try. I'm gonna write them in a melodic way. So the first one is, let's say I just sing C and C straight after that. This one has got a very interesting name and it's referred to later in the pages, and I will get back to it. But let's say I now go from middle C to D. It's literally from 1 to 2, so it is a melodic second. Then let's go back, C to E. It's a bigger jump now. So it's C, D, E, like I've done in my very first example up here. And it will then be a melodic third. Back to C major scale. C to F. Will be C, D, E, F. If it was me, I would simply go and write out the names of the notes that you get in between. And then it's very easy. And then write 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not an offense. It's not looking stupid. You're actually showing that you know what is going on. So this will be a melodic fourth. Okay, then the next note on the scale is G. So if we go from C to G, it is C, D, E, F, G. You can count on your fingers. C, D, E, F, G. 5 notes. So it's a melodic fifth. In C major scale, the next note is A. So we go from C to A. And that will be C, D, E, F, G, A. So we count C, D, E, F, G, A. I've used the other hand. And that is then a melodic sixth. Second last note is B. So we go from C to B. Now it's going to start becoming difficult to write in all the letter names. Let's just count them. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. 7. Okay. So this is a melodic seventh. Now when we go from one note to another note, and they've got the same letter name but they're not the same pitch, we will find something interesting. Okay, so we will have to page a bit in our books. First of all, we can call it an eighth, but it's got a special name. So we don't just go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C and say that's 8. We call them something special, and that word that we use is the word octave. octave. And that gives us that special relationship where we can hear that there's a relationship between these two notes. Although they are different, we can hear that there's also something that is similar in sound. Now, I've done the C major scale here, and I've done all of these notes, intervals in melody way. So they are all melodic intervals. And I'm just going to save a little bit of space here, and I'm going to say, okay, let's say that I've actually got somebody singing that note and another person singing that note. They are harmonizing. It is still from C to D as it is here, but it will now be called a harmonic second. Let me go here. We've already done this example where it is from C to E, and we count C, D, E, and this is now a harmonic third. And we can now write these notes on top of each other in each case, and then instead of it being called melodic second, melodic third, melodic fourth, etc., it will simply be called harmonic. So let's quickly complete that. From C to F, it is a fourth, but it is a harmonic fourth. From C to G, a harmonic fifth. From C to A harmonic sixth. From C to B, a harmonic seventh. And then the special one, if we go from middle C to C, it will be a harmonic octave. So we don't call it an eighth, we call it an octave. Now, I've still got this one left to discuss. Now, it is not shown here in the beginning at all, but you'll remember I did say in the notes that there's going to be other pages that refer, and here on page 23 it gives us interval types, and the first one is when it is from one note to the next, we actually call it unison. The rest are easy: second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and we've got an octave. So I hope that gives you an idea of what intervals are about. I will also be linking other video clips, and there are obviously exercises that we will have to complete, that you will do and complete. Now, what happens if we start on a different note? And I will just do a different little video for you to show you how that would work, simply because the other videos then become too long and it is difficult for you to download and for me to post.